So good morning. So in previous sessions, we have discussed the packages and we have completed the packages chapter. So let us check the questions. What type of questions will come in the exams? So also in the prescribed textbook, Anita said, Java one step ahead by Anita said. So for each chapter, he has given some exercise programs. At the end of each chapter, they have given some practice programs, exercise programs. So if you learn the theory, then you can able to answer that. You can able to write that programs. So after completion of each chapter, let us try to solve these problems. Let us try to write the programs for the problem they have given. So in that way, we can get the programming skills. So let us check all of those things. Even though I have given some programs at the unit-wise questions, for each unit, I have given some theory questions as well as some practice programs. So up to 3 units we have completed. Next in the fourth unit. So fourth unit is nothing but packages as well as exception handling. In the fourth unit, we have two chapters, two sub-chapters. First one packages, second one exception handling. So we have completed the packages. So we have completed the packages and exception handling is remaining. So we'll complete the exception handling in coming days. So before going to the exception handling, let us try to analyze the questions. What type of questions will come in the exam? So already we have discussed the broad coverage of the packages. So we have covered the three packages: language package, util package, and time package. We have covered the all the three packages. So they may ask the explain util package, explain language package, explain time package. They may ask the entire package, or else they may ask the subclasses of the classes are available in the each package. Suppose if you take the language class, language package, in that object class is the main class, and then math class, enum class, and then wrapper class. So these are the main classes in the language package. So they may ask the each class also. They may ask the explain about math class. How to write the methods and interfaces available in the math class. So or else they may ask the explain the util package. Explain the util package. Then you have to explain the available classes and available interfaces in the util package. And then we have to explain the important classes like random class, scanner class, and then formatter class. So for each package, there are two or three or four classes in each package. Three or four package, three or four classes are very important. So those four classes are explained. So they may ask that class also, or else they may ask the entire package. So they may ask the entire package, or else they may ask the subclasses also. Explain about the random class, explain about the temporal adjusters class, explain about the instant class. So like that they may ask the each class also, or else the entire package also they may ask. And then access controls. So next one is access controls. So we have said public, static, private. So how the packages can have this access control? So within the package, in between the package, outside the package, how the accessing will be done? That we have seen. Next, path and class path. So while installing the Java, we have set the path and class paths, environment variables. So explain the things in Windows as well as in the Linux based operating systems. And then user defined packages. So all these are predefined packages: language package, util package, time package. So all these things are predefined package already defined in the Java library. So yeah, if you want to create your own package, you can create it. So those type of packages are called user defined packages. So the examiner may ask to create a package. The examiner may ask the create the package and import this package to your program. Import this package to your program. So what are the steps to create the package? How do you create your own package? Any other one? Always only one person is answering. What about remaining one? How do you create a package? Package is a collection of classes and interfaces. So in that package, if you want to create the package, you have to open the editor. In that editor, we have to write the package name, package name. In that you can define the classes. In that you can define the classes, and you can save the program. You can save the program. So and that file is placed in the some folder. So that that folder name and class name should be same. The folder name and package name should be same. And then write a your application program, write a Java application program. So in general, what we will do is import java.util.asterisk. Like that we can import the packages. So this is also one package we have created. This can be imported like this: import space package name. Package name is my student. It's a package name. How can you import that student package? Import student, import student semicolon, import student semicolon. So then that student package is imported to our program. So if it is a predefined one, import java.util dot asterisk. So likewise, you can create our own packages, and you can also import the package to our programs. So this is all about the packages. They may ask in this fashion also. And then enumeration. Already we have seen some variations in the enumeration. And then wrapper class. So conversion of one data type to object. Conversion of a data type to objects. Why? Because in Java, everything is an object. So Java concepts are created to implement on the objects. Java concepts are created to implement on the objects. So if it is an object, then so many operations can be performed. So many predefined methods can be applied. If it is not an object, then we have to write our own code to execute some methods. So if it is an object, we can directly apply the existing methods. So most of the Java concepts are meant to uh, build on objects only. If the we can apply the methods on the objects only. So that's why there is a need to convert the data types into objects. That is called auto boxing, auto unboxing. Reverse process is auto unboxing. So those are the wrapper classes. 8 primitive data types has 8 wrapper classes. And then auto boxing and auto unboxing. And then some practice programs I have given already in the textbook. These programs are available, and I have explained in the class also. So for each unit, I have given some questions, unit-wise questions, and then some practice programs. So also verify the programs given in the textbook, prescribed textbook. They have given some practice programs. So you also verify that. So this is all about the packages. And then let us start the exception handling. So let us start the exception handling. So exception handling. Exception handling means handling, management of the exceptions. Suppose if you write any program, so the program may have some errors or some exceptions. So in Java terminology, errors may be considered as exceptions. So exceptions are some errors. Exceptions are nothing but some errors. So the error should be handled properly. Error should be handled properly. So the JVM or compiler has to manage the errors. Has to manage the errors. So the programmer can write the error handling mechanisms. So Java supports the error handling. So the method which is used to handle the error is called error handler. Error handler. So here error is nothing but exception handler. You can call it as exception handler. So the possibility where the error may occur, the possibility where the exception may arise. So that part is known as try block. So here we know we come across the C++ try block and catch block. Try is a keyword and catch is a keyword. So in order to handle the exception handling, we will use the keywords try and catch. Try and catch. So try means try is a block. So try consists of some block of statements. Try consists of some block of statements. So try is nothing but it's a so 1 minute. Suppose try consists of some list block of statements. So that means so there is a chance of coming the exception in this block. So here some classes will be there, some methods will be there, some interfaces will be there, some simple statements will be there. So there is a possibility of exception may arise. So that part can be kept in the try block. That part can be kept in the try block. For example, we write the programs like this: class space class name, suppose student, class name student, then static public static void main string args. So this is the main file. Here we write the some logic, so some printf statements. So here we can write the try block. Here we can write our logic. Here we can write the try block. We can close the main method. We can close the class. Here we can write the try block. So that means the logic should be kept in the try block. That means there is a possibility to the programmer can analyze that there is a possibility to coming the some exception here. Then we can place that block in the try block. So this is the try block. Here we can write the logic. So wherever whenever you need you need to use the exceptions, you need to handle the exceptions. We will write the try block. We will write the try block as well as corresponding catch block. So in the try block we can write the logic. Next catch block. So catch. So catch is nothing but a exception handler. Catch can be called as exception handler. Catch is a keyword which will pass some exception. Suppose exception is something, any type of exception E. So this is the catch block. Here in the try block, we may come across the error. In the try block, the exception may arise. In the try block, the exception may arise. So in the catch block, the exception is handled. That means suppose division by 0. So here I have given the x by y, x value as 10, y value as 0. I have given the x by y here in the try block. In the try block, I have written the k is equal to x by y. In the try block, I have written the k is equal to x by y statement. So in the exception, this is the exception. This is the in this case the exception may arise in the k value. So this can be placed in the try block. Then this has to be handled. The error has to be handled. So if you get the error, statement, that is not a good practice in the software engineering. So you have to handle some warnings or some. Suppose if you, for example, if you go to the ATM, if you want to draw the 10,000 rupees, if you want to draw the 10,000 rupees, but in your account you have only 5,000 rupees. 5,000 rupees. So if you want to draw the 10,000 rupees, the system may not release the 10,000. The system will raise the exception. Then the system will raise the exception. You have insufficient funds. Some statements. You have insufficient statements. So the ultimately the software engineer goal is to satisfy the user. Other than this, the ATM machine may abruptly stops the execution. Then the user may feel bad. So if the system says something, the user may satisfies. If it has 5,000 only, but he want to withdraw 10,000, the machine will respond. The machine will respond in such a way that you have only 5,000 rupees, insufficient funds. So we may not, you may not withdraw the 10,000. So please enter the less than 5,000 amount. Like that, the error message has to come. So then the error message is placed in the catch block. That error message is placed in the catch block. How to handle that exception? How to handle that exception? So exception is erased in the try block. In the catch block, we are going to provide some solution for that. Not exactly solution. Some handling, error handling, some management. If a error arises, you may solve the error, or you may say that I suppose for example, మీరు నన్ను ఏమైనా క్వశ్చన్ అడిగారు అనుకోండి, తెలిస్తే తెలుసు అని చెప్తాను, తెలియపోతే ఏం చెప్తాను, చూసి తర్వాత చెప్తాను అంటాను, స్టడీ చేసి తర్వాత చెప్తాను అంటాను. సో ఇక్కడ ఎర్రర్స్ కూడా అంతే. మీరు అడిగితే చెప్తాను, అడిగితే ఇక్కడ 2 ఆప్షన్స్ ఉన్నాయి. అయితే ఆన్సర్ చేయాలి, లేదా పోస్ట్ పోన్ చేయాలి. ఆ ఎర్రర్ని సంథింగ్ ఒక కూల్గా మేనేజ్ చేయగలగాలి. సో దట్ మేనేజ్మెంట్ కెన్ బి పాసిబుల్ విత్ ద హెల్ప్ ఆఫ్ catch blocks. So in the try block, the error arises. So whatever error arises in the try block, whatever the error, 1 minute. సో ఏం చెప్తున్నాను, సో ట్రై బ్లాక్, క్యాచ్ బ్లాక్ గురించి చెప్తున్నాను. సో ట్రై బ్లాక్ అంటే మీకు ఎక్కడైతే ఎర్రర్ ఎరైజ్ అవుతుందో దాన్ని ట్రై బ్లాక్లో పెడతాం. క్యాచ్ అంటే ఏంటంటే ఆ ఎర్రర్ని హ్యాండిల్ చేయటం. అది ఎర్రర్కి సమ్ ఎర్రర్ స్టేట్మెంట్ అన్న రావటం, లేదా దాన్ని హ్యాండిల్ చేయటం. సో దట్ ఈస్ ఆల్ అబౌట్ ది ట్రై బ్లాక్ అండ్ క్యాచ్ బ్లాక్. సో లెట్ us go in detail. So let us observe some exceptions arises in the programming. So there are so many exceptions arises in the programming. Let us see some examples. So let us see here. When user enters a negative number as the size of the array. So actually we can give the size of the array as like this. Int a is equal to new a, size is 10, like that. Some size is equal to 10. But if you give the negative number -10, so that may leads to the exception. If you give the size as negative, then it may leads to the exception. So that is one type of exception. Then when the user provides a negative number as the arguments in the method for finding the square root. So if you want to find out the square root of any number, suppose if you want to find the square root of 9, you will get the output is equal to 3. The square root of 9 is 3. So if you want to give the square root for the negative number, it may raise some error. It may cause some exception. Next, when the program has to execute division by 0. The program has to execute division by 0. So division by 0 leads to some error, some exception. So these are the some examples of errors. Next one, when there is a insufficient memory space. Suppose in the local disk memory is already filled, then the system may erase some out of memory exception like that. Then when the requisite file is not found. So if you are writing the program to access some file handling, but the file name is different from actual file name, then some exception may arise. So when a network connection is lost during the communication process. So in the network means collection of systems. If you want to transfer the message from one system to other system, we need a network. So there is a possibility to lose the network. Then the communication channel may lose its capacity to transfer the data. Then the program has to erase some exception when the user tries to open a non-existing file. So if the programmer has written a program to open some file, so the file is not available in the system. So then the compiler has to return some error message. The compiler has to raise the exception. So these are the some examples for exceptions. So there is a need to need to handle this type of exceptions. So that's why there is a concept called exception handler. So these are the cases erases the exceptions. So these statements corresponding code should be written in the try block. So the solution for that try block is the exception handler for that try block is catch block. In the catch block, we can write some statements. So that is possible by using the exception handler. So here exception handler is catch block. Here we have try block as well as catch block. So in exception handling in Java, an exception is an object. So here in Java, exception is an object. So exception is not a statement. So exception can be treated as an object. So here Java is an purely object-oriented programming language. Here everything is treated as object. So an exception is an object. So an exception is an object of relevant exception class. So simply it is an object. So exception is nothing but an object. So exception can be treated as object. So when an error occurs in the method, it throws out an exception object. It throws out an exception object. That contains the information about the where the error occurred and the type of the error. So the error object is passed on to the runtime system, which searches for the appropriate code for that handle the exception. So that means if the exception arises, so the compiler can verify that where this type of errors can be handled. Arithmetic error or logical error, something. There are so many type of exceptions available in the Java. So which type of exception handler can handle this exception? So the compiler can identify the exception handlers. So there are so many types of exception handlers. So the compiler or JVM can identify the type of identify the which type of exception handler can handle this. 1 minute. Hello, madam. Madam చెప్పండి. సరే 4 సరిపోతాయి మేడం. ఒకసారి సమీరా మేడం కనుక్కోండి మేడం. హలో మేడం. హలో మేడం. లలిత మేడంకి నాకు సరిపోతాయి మేడం. ఒకసారి సమీరా మేడం కనుక్కోవాలి. ఓకే. So exception handler, exception handling is a mechanism that is used to handle the runtime errors. So exception handling is a mechanism which is used to handle the runtime errors. So you have the programming errors and then logical errors. So logical errors means some program will execute. So program will execute. C is equal to A plus B. There is no logical error in that. If you write the program for C is equal to A plus B or C is equal to A by B, A by B. So there is no logical error in that statement. But if you give the B value as 0, it raises some exception. Unexceptional case. So these type of things are called unexceptional things. So if you write the try catch blocks in your program, the application will become robustness. So robustness, Java feature is robustness. So that means how much strongly it behaves when the unusual situations occurs. Unusual situations occurs, how your application will respond. So that will depend on this exceptional handling mechanisms, try block, catch block. So based upon these things, the program, the application's robustness will depend. So next one. So all these are, so these are regarding the try block and catch block. So basically in general programming, we have two methods for exceptional handling. We have two methods for exceptional handling. There are two models for exceptional handling. First one is termination model. So first one is termination model. Second one is resuming model. First one is termination model. Second one is resumption model. First one is termination model. Second one is resumption model. So termination model is nothing but whenever the exception arises, the program execution terminates. The program execution terminates. So these type of models are known as termination models. So exception handling can be performed in two ways. Exception handling can be performed in two ways. First one is termination model. So termination model is nothing but so whenever the error arises, or whenever the exception arises, the program's execution terminates. The program execution abruptly stops. That type of model is known as termination model. Java follows the termination model. So upcoming programming languages follows only termination model. So previous models like COBOL, those type of programming languages follows resumption model. Resumption model means after execution, after finding of any exception also, the program will continue to execute. So this is very difficult to achieve. So that's why to make the Java simple. So we have said that Java buzzwords. Java is simple. So Java programming is simple. To make the programmer or any Java professional can write the programs very easily. That means extra burden or extra code cannot be there in the Java. So whatever necessary, that only kept in the Java library. So Java follows the termination model. Another model is resumption model. Resumption model means after exception arises also the program will continue to execute. So that type of models are called resumption model. Resumption model. So Java is a termination model. So Java follows termination model. So these are the languages Mesa, Beta, PL by I. These languages will follow resumption model. Resumption model. So next one. So next one, hierarchy of standard exception classes. So there is a exception classes. So there are some predefined Java classes meant for exception handling. So there are so many predefined classes like throwable. So all the exception handling classes are extends the properties from throwable. So throwable is a main class. Throwable is a main class to handle the exceptions. So if you want to perform exception handling or if you want to write the try block or catch block, so all these things can be implemented whenever you use the throwable class. Whenever you use the throwable class, then only you can able to implement the exception handling. So this is the super class for all the exception handling classes. So if you want to perform exception handling, you have to inherit the throwable class properties. You have to inherit the throwable class properties. So this is the super class for all the exception classes. So let us see one diagram. So this is the some hierarchy. So you know that object is a class which is the universal superclass. Universal superclass. If you create the any object, 1 minute. Hello. So object is a class which is a superclass, universal superclass. So each and every class is a subclass of object class. So throwable is a class which is also a subclass of object class. So throwable class extends the properties from object class. Throwable class extends the properties from object class. So throwable is a class, object is a class. Object is a superclass, throwable is a subclass. So throwable is the main class here. In exceptional handling, if you want to perform anything, we need a throwable class. So in the throwable class, we have two another classes, error or exception. So error or exception. So there are so many types of errors available in Java or any programming language. Linkage errors, class format error, no class definition found error. So like this, we have so many errors like thread death error, virtual machine error, internal error, out of memory error. So these are the available errors in Java or any other programming can have these errors. So next coming to the exception. Next coming to the exception. So we have so many subclasses in the exception class. So in the exception class, we have runtime exception class, and then class not found exception, illegal access exception, interrupted exception. So these are all the classes. So these are all classes for the exception, subclasses for the exception. So in the runtime exception class also has some exceptions, some subclasses, arithmetic exception, class cast exception, array store exception. So these are the sub classes for runtime exception. So these are the subclasses for runtime exception. These are the subclasses for runtime exception. So runtime exception is a class. Class not found exception is a class. Illegal access exception is a class. Interrupted exception is a class. So these four are the subclasses for exception class. So exception is a subclass for throwable class. Throwable class is a subclass for object class. So likewise, so this is some hierarchy. So main class is object class. In that we have throwable class. In that we have exception class. So in the exception class, we have so many types of exception classes. So if you want to perform runtime exception class, we can utilize the runtime exception class. So in the runtime exception, further it is divided into sub categories, subclasses. And then class not found exception, illegal access exception, interrupted exception. So these are the some subclasses of exception. So exceptions are two types: unchecked exceptions, checked exception. Unchecked exceptions, checked exceptions. So unchecked exceptions means so unchecked exceptions are nothing but the compiler cannot check. The compiler cannot check whether the catch block is exist or not. So that type of mechanisms are known as unchecked exceptions. The compiler cannot check for the catch block. The compiler cannot check for the uh, exception handlers. That is unchecked exceptions. So checked exceptions means compiler will check for the exception, check for that exception handler. Compiler will check the catch block. So where the catch block exists, that will be done by compiler. Compiler can search for that. That is checked exceptions. So compiler cannot check for the catch block. That is unchecked exceptions. The compiler cannot check for the unchecked exceptions. The compiler will check for the exceptions. That is checked exceptions. So there are two types of exceptions available: checked exceptions, unchecked exceptions. So this is some hierarchy of the classes, hierarchy of exception classes used in the Java literature. So next one. So these are the checked exceptions and unchecked exception. So unchecked exception means the compiler will not check for the catch block. Checked exceptions means the compiler will check for the search for the catch block. That is checked exceptions and unchecked exceptions. So there are the main method, the main class is throwable. So here in exception handling, we have to inherit the properties from throwable class. We have to use the throwable class. So the class is nothing but a class consists of class members. That means class members are nothing but the methods. So this throwable class can have the mainly three methods. Throwable class can have the three methods: get message method, toString method, print stack trace method. So these are the three methods used in the throwable class. First, get message. So get message means it returns a string that gives the information about the current exception. That means it will display some out of boundary exception, out of value exception. Please enter the value as below 5, above 0.5. Like that, we can write some statement. So that can be done through this message, through this method, get message method. Next, toString method. So toString method is a already exist in the util package. Util package object class. So object class can have the toString method already exist in the object class. So we are overriding this method toString method. So toString means to display the output, for displaying the message on the screen, to display the message on the screen. Next, print stack trace. Print stack trace. That means tracing. It traces and displays the hierarchy of method calls that resulted in exception. So that means so each method call can be placed in the some data structure called stack. So stack can hold the all the methods available, all the exception possible methods that can be placed in a stack. So that can be traced by the print stack trace method. So if you want to know the what type of methods are invoked, what type of methods are called, so that can be known to the programmer by print stack trace method. So these three methods are very useful in the exception handling. So these three methods are written in the throwable class. These three methods are written in the throwable class. Then, so you can write the programs tomorrow. So this is all about the some introduction to the exception handling. Already you have seen this exception handling in the C++. So we can continue in the tomorrow session. So in today's class, we have seen the some questions in the packages, what type of questions arises in the packages. And then we have seen the introduction to the exception handling. What is try block? What is catch block? What is the hierarchy of the classes? What is the throwable class? And what are the available subclasses in the throwable? And then we have seen uh, some methods, some available methods in the throwable class, toString method, message method, and then print stack trace method. So these three methods are widely used in the Java. So this is all about the some introduction to the exception. So in tomorrow's class, we can study the some keywords, throws, finally. So all these keywords can be explained tomorrow. So any doubts in this? So okay, thank you.